Welcome everybody to the Real Life Health Show. Today I'm going to show you how I harvest and also make my own Moringa powder. I highly recommend Moringa powder for so many reasons. It's a big part of my diet. In this video, as I'm harvesting the tree, I'm going to talk about health and Moringa and a lot of these things. And then I'm going to show you how I dehydrate and bag the Moringa powder as well. So enjoy the video. Put your comments and questions below. Thank you. Alright everybody, welcome. Here I am in my yard and I am trying to get the best food I can get for my body and for myself. And this here is my Moringa tree. And I am going to cut this, and every couple of months I come out here and I cut the Moringa. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to dry it in a dehydrator and make a powder out of it. And what it does is I could eat the leaves fresh. The Moringa leaves are edible to eat fresh. But when you powder them down, they're much more concentrated. So I want to concentrate these leaves. And in a powder form, you could add that to smoothies or something. But what I like to do is I like to sprinkle it over my salad. I might put some fresh leaves in there, but I like putting the powder in there. And that's what we're going to do now. So several different things I have here to do this. I have a bowl, and I have this. Now, I grow a lot of different fruit trees. But this is probably the most valuable tree that I have on my property from a standpoint of health. So basically, and this tree grows back really quickly once you cut it. So some of these, to give you an example, you just take it like this, and I'm pretty much stripping the leaves right into the pot here. And then at a low temperature. Now this is edible too, you could juice it, but it's a little rough. I'm not going to use that. So you could take smaller leaves or bigger leaves. These are the smaller ones, and then I'll take some bigger ones. There are places in Africa where they actually survive off this, and it's like nature's multivitamin. It has all the nutrients that your body needs. It's wonderful. I mean, if you can't grow it, at least get Moringa powder. I have it on my website, but it's such a great product. So I'll take the small leaves off. Then there are flowers here too. Those flowers, they're edible. You could juice them as well. So now I got the smaller ones off. So I'm going to go ahead. I got a machete here. I'm going to go ahead and cut this now. I wish this machete was sharper. It would be a lot easier. But it'll come. With a sharp machete, one time and you're done. I don't have a sharp machete. There we go. All right. So I took that down, and look at that. So now I'll strip these leaves. I'll take these leaves off and put them right into the basket. And it's pretty amazing how many leaves it takes to make a small amount of powder. Maybe that's why it's so expensive from the store. So I'm all in favor of supplements, which are whole foods in a supplement form, as the ideal supplements. I mean, if you have to take a chemical supplement, like a synthetic supplement, you got to do what you got to do, and certain times that might be the answer. But getting them from nature is the best way. So I do recommend Moringa powder. I recommend other green powders if you can find them, or find one that you like. And the greens, it doesn't mean you can't get this stuff from your diet, but it's just not always easily as accessible to get it from your diet. But you're still getting it from your diet if you're getting it in a bottle. So when people say the vegan diet, you know, if it had everything it needs, we wouldn't need to supplement. First of all,
a whole food in a supplement form is not really like your traditional supplement, but even non-meat eaters, non-vegans, a supplement as well. It's just wise to take a blood test, make sure you're getting the nutrients you need, and if you're not, seek out the foods that are going to give you those nutrients. If you can find them and get them on a regular basis, that's wonderful. For some reason, if you can't, then get it in a supplement form. That's the ideal way, is the fresh is best, but supplement's better than nothing if you need something. Now, when we look at the idea of the term superfoods, a superfood is anything that you can't get easily that you're able to get maybe in a supplement form or something. So like if there's a part of the world that sells like goji berries and you can't get them here, then they're known as a superfood. The only thing super about them is you're able to get them somehow or some way in a supplement form or something. But where they grow goji berries, it's not a superfood. I mean, it's an amazing food, but it's not considered a highly expensive supplement because they grow that in a regular form. So what I mean is, if you can't grow or get cucumbers where you live, well, now that becomes a so-called superfood that you're going to have to search out and maybe buy online or something. But our Creator didn't make any mistakes when He designed us to eat the way we eat, or the way we should be eating. Everything we need is found in plant diet, and I'm always interested in the names that have changed over time. Vegan isn't really about diet as much as it's about lifestyle, but plant-based is what everyone's using now as the not eating animals term. Oh, I'm plant-based, but that really doesn't make sense. I mean, you're plant-based, but what about the rest of it? I mean, what are you doing? I mean, ultimately, everyone's plant-based. If you're eating a hamburger with lettuce on it, that's plant-based, right? So ultimately, you want to just eat. The more fruits and vegetables you get in the diet, the better off you're going to be. And if you're exclusively fruits and vegetables, even better. The more you process your food, the harder it is for the body to digest and get what it needs. So you can always go beyond that, going beyond just plant-based, what they say, or fresh, or fruits and vegetables is fresh fruits and vegetables, locally grown food. But if you take that locally grown food and you microwave it, guess what? It's no longer a healthy food. So these are things to consider. You want the foods that are going to give your body the most by using the least amount of energy to get it. But if you destroy what it needs because you're cooking it the wrong way, well, that's not better. So I try not to have my food processed at all, if I can help it. I mean, I'm processing it by powdering this down. I don't have to. I could just eat these leaves in a salad, which I do sometimes. But sometimes the processing may take place. But when you get into the super high processing, like what people do with processing through cooking's a really high way of processing food, and not a way that I necessarily recommend. So this tree grows really big, and I want to make sure I keep it trimmed so it doesn't overtake things and shade my other trees out. There's a branch here I want to get. Let's see. You might not be able to see me on camera. I really need to sharpen this machete. But whoa, okay. Alrighty, that's what I wanted. You also get your exercise doing this. I've been wanting to get that for a long time, that big piece of tree. Look at that, everybody. Now look here. Look at all that. That's not going to make a lot of powder, though. That will not make a lot of powder. So I have several bowls to fill up. And what I'll do is I'll put this on a dehydrator tray. Let me lay this down here so I could get two hands. So it also keeps you active when you're doing this. You're like working for your food. So somebody brought up the question the other day about exercising. What foods are good to exercise first, like on a raw diet? I like exercising on an empty stomach. It's windy out today. Hopefully the microphone, you guys can hear me. But I like exercising on an empty stomach. And I have the energy to do that. When you're eating food that's taking energy from your body, it's going to be hard to do anything, but you have such a great energy reserves, and you don't need stimulants when you're eating and living healthy. Your body's either working towards disease or towards health, and there's no in between. It's not just doing nothing, it's one or the other. And your body either has energy or stimulation. And most of the diet in the world today, people are just going on stimulation. And if you're going on stimulation, not only does it create a tremendous amount of problems in your body, but you need to take stimulants. And a lot of people do that in the form of things like caffeine or some other type of drug. And people think food's a stimulant or calories are a stimulant, but they're really not. If you're not eating the right food, it's not a stimulant. It's actually a deterrent to health and to energy. It takes more energy digesting food than any other process of the human body. So you want to reduce that. So the less digestion that's needed when you eat your food, the less, the more energy you conserve. That's why people that eat a bad diet often don't have enough energy to make it through the day or make it through the meal or something. So it does make a big difference what you're eating and how you're living. And these things start to show up. Now when you're younger, you can get away with a lot of bad stuff, but it definitely catches up to you when you get older. And it's not that it catches up to you, it just reveals itself. You kind of see the result of what you've been doing. Health is an investment. And if you put the time in and you avoid the temporary pleasures of certain chemicals, and you learn to train your palate to love the way our Creator created the food for us to eat, it's going to be rewarded with wonderful health. So, a lot of my friends now, their parents are in their 70s and 80s, and they're all starting to get really sick. And not just their parents, but my friends as well. Their parents and them. So the age people are getting sick today are younger and younger. Should be the other way around. Countries that are taking care of their health, they're doing it in a way where it's the other way around. It's not getting sicker at a younger age. They're just much healthier at a younger age. But doctors aren't making money when people are healthy, right? Look at that exercise I'm getting. And I mean, I don't want to sound overzealous, but I plan to be doing this my whole life. And on one hand, you could say it takes work. I mean, somebody with arthritis in their 80s aren't necessarily going to be doing what I'm doing. But somebody who doesn't have arthritis in their 90s can do what I'm doing right now. Why not? And I love Moringa. Moringa is wonderful. I figured I'd come out here and make a video while I did this today. Even better, right? The mailman's there behind me. All right. The overweight mailman who's... When I was a kid, mailman used to come out of the truck and walk down the street or something. I actually lived in a building, so they had to come in the building. But here, they got these cars and they pull right up to the mailbox. They don't even get out. And that mailman was overweight. Why do you think that's so? They're just not exercising, getting the exercise they need. I don't know. The mailmen still walk in this country? Because I see these cars now where they just pull right up to the mailbox. This tree grows pretty fast, by the way. All right, if you guys have questions about eating healthy, a raw vegan diet, or anything like that, post them below. But, I mean, I live in a warmer environment now. I mean, we're in March and the weather here is amazing. It's a little windy today. Somebody asked me, can we eat this way if we live in a colder environment? Well, I lived in New York for many years when I ate a raw food diet. And my friend Dr. Fred Bishey, who's in his 90s, 95 years old, he lives in New York and he's able to do the raw diet. Because you're not walking around and living outside. You're bundling up outside and you're creating a temporary tropical environment inside your house. So it is possible to do. The challenge is getting the food grown locally. And that's why I choose to move to an environment where I can grow the food locally. But that's the whole point of this video. You know, through mail order, you can get food that's grown here or other better environments. So, local is best, but you gotta do what you gotta do. And I chose to live here and get out of the cold environment. I don't like the cold. And if you're in a cold environment, yeah, you could still eat a raw diet. These days you can get food anywhere. All right, I think we got a good amount, and I'm gonna put this in a dehydrator and then come out and do the same thing again. So most people that have moringa, they might throw this leaves in their salad. It's all right, it's just not concentrated the way I would like it. And this will last a long time, this powder. Now, of course, when you do it fresh, it's much more greener, but it certainly does last a long time. This is pretty brutal in the summertime doing this though. It's real hot. Now it's beautiful. It's a nice breeze. Yeah, this is almost full here. So a lot of the moringa in the world comes from India or some other country around the world. And I don't know how they're doing it or how long it's sitting somewhere. But with my own, I know what's going on, and I have several trees to be able to do this. This stuff grows fast. Let's break this. There we go. All right, everybody. So I'm going to, I gotta get some of these flowers in my salad today. That's nice. The seeds are edible. The flowers are edible. Yeah. This is such a great food. It does need to be grown in a warmer environment though. It won't grow where it gets cold out too well. All right, so I got 2 trays of moringa that I did. I'm going to dry these down. My dehydrator is 9 trays. This maybe will fill half of it. And then I'll go ahead and come out and do this again. All right, everybody. So put your questions below. Thank you for watching. Have a great day, everybody, and a great roll up. All right, everybody. Here's the Moringa, and here's my dehydrator tray. I just have the basic sheet here for the dehydrator. I don't need anything else. And I'm going to put the dehydrator around on here. I have 9 trays. And I'm going to spread this out and put this in the dehydrator. And it'll take about maybe 24 hours to get dry. And then when it's dry, I'll put it in a blender and blend it up into a powder. And I dry this in the dehydrator at a low temperature so that the enzymes are not destroyed. I'll do this to all 9 trays. And then I'll go out and get some more because this isn't going to fill up all 9 trays. And then that powder from that will last me, depending how often I take it, could last me up to a month. Okay, everybody, I'll show you the end product when we're done. Okay, it's the next morning now. I put these in the dehydrator yesterday afternoon, and I'm going to show you what it looks like when it's dry. Okay, so here it is. You see how much more concentrated everything is. And basically, it's essential that it's completely dry, and the blender that we're using is completely dry, and the cover is completely dry. If there's any moisture at all on this, it's going to be an issue when you're trying to make this into a powder. So you want to make sure all of the leaves are completely dry, and you're going to put them right into the blender, and I'm going to do that with every tray. So you put that right into the blender, and then we're going to do that with every tray, and then when we blend this up, this is going to turn into a powder. But again, I can't express how important it is to keep this dry. So, powder. To a powder, not a power. So we're going to blend this up into a powder, but it's so essential that we keep this dry. And we're going to do that with all the trays. Now, we won't be able to fit all the trays here, so it's going to be maybe two times. But we'll blend it up, and I'll show you how that looks. That's how it looks in the blender before we blend it. It's just dried up. The dried up leaves, and then we're going to blend it now. At a very low speed. I'm pushing it down with this stopper here. Okay, now we have our Moringa powder. I'll blend it up a little bit more here. We're done. It smells delicious. All right, now the more we blend it, the finer it's going to be. There you go. We'll just put that in a bag, and that's what I'll sprinkle on my salads and have in my smoothies for the next month. All right, everybody, and you can make this as much as often as you want if you have a tree. If you don't have a tree, I sell Moringa powder on my website. I sell this in capsules if you want to carry them with you and take them on the go, or you want the powder. I don't have this particular one. I found somebody who makes this and packages it, and I sell theirs on the website, but this is what I do on a regular basis, pretty much every day. Love Moringa, and I highly recommend it. All right, put your comments and questions below, everybody. Have a great day, and the links below if you want to purchase some powder or capsules. Keep growing.
Okay, there is my moringa powder that I put in the bag here. I'll put a date on it, and that's it. And that's only 3 trays. This whole bag will be full after I do all 9 trays.
Nature's wealth, good for your health. This is the raw